am not at school today. However, I'm going to make a little short video to remind you guys of how to do trigonometry. And remember, that is your sine, cosine, and tangent. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. All right, you guys, when you're finding an angle, remember to do one of the bottom three: inverse sine, inverse cosine, inverse tangent. When you're looking for a side, you're going to do one of the top three in your calculator, either regular sine, regular cosine, regular tangent. All right, so listen, I'm going to do a couple of examples for you guys. The first one is just setting it up. Remember, I told you guys there are four types of trig problems on the ACT. The very first one is can you set it up? So just set up sine of q and so forth and so on. So let's actually work a problem. It doesn't really matter which one you do. Let's see here. What do I want to do? Let's see one where we got x on the bottom. That seems to be the struggle when you have x on the bottom. So let's do number 8, okay? I'm going to do number 8. Let me blow this up if I can. Blow number 8 up. There we go. Let me get in here. Okay. Move this over just a tad bit. Oh, I love technology. Come on. All right, you guys, so here is the angle. So the very first thing I tell you guys to do, step number 1, is to circle the angle. And our angle is 37 degrees. And then the step number 2, I tell you guys, is to make sure you know which one is the hypotenuse. And the 90-degree angle is the one that points to the hypotenuse. So there it is. There is our x. And that is our hypotenuse. I'm going to label that H for you guys. All right, the third thing I have you guys do is to locate the opposite. The opposite is the side that does not touch the 37-degree angle. It is across from the 37-degree angle. So this side of the triangle is your adjacent side. I'm making this opposite side. Good Lord, I can't talk today. Opposite side. All right, and the third one, the fourth thing I have you guys do is to identify the adjacent side. That's the side that does touch the 37. That's going to be your 48 side. This is your adjacent side. Okay, so step number 1, circle the angle. Step number 2, find the hypotenuse. Step number 3, find the opposite side. And step number 4, find the adjacent side. All right, now here comes the hard part, you guys. Which formula do you pick? Well, it depends on what two things you have to plug in for. Now, remember, you replace the theta with the angle, and you got to replace two things. Well, you got to pick the formula that has an H in it and a formula that has an A in it. And the only formula that has those two things, because you have to replace H with an X and replace A with a 48, is the cosine. So this is going to be the formula: cosine, theta, and remember, theta is a letter of the Greek alphabet for angle measure, and cosine is adjacent over your hypotenuse. So here's your formula. Now again, I picked this formula because I can replace the theta, I can replace the A, and I can replace the H. If I were to pick a formula that had an O in it for opposite, I don't have anything to pick for it to put in. There's no replacement there. So that's why I pick cosine. All right, here we go. We're going to plug in chug. So it's going to be cosine. And the theta is 37 degrees. I'm replacing the A, which is the adjacent side, with the 48. And I'm going to replace the hypotenuse, which is the side across from the 90-degree angle, with the X. So I picked this particular problem because you guys y'all know you can't divide by an x. You can't multiply the other side by an x. So you guys tend to, be, well, what do I do? Well, remember, the trick is to switch their places. Not just the 37, I mean the cosine of 37. This is your pencil, this is your eraser. You don't want to, take them apart. So we're going to take x, switch places with the cosine of 37, so it all goes in the denominator. That's the bottom, y'all. That's the bottom. So we got 48 divided by the cosine of 37. All right, we are ready to grab your calculator. Now remember, if you don't have your calculator in degrees, your answer is going to come out incorrect. So everybody grab your calculator, put in 48, hit divided by cosine, which is regular cosine since we're finding a side, and then put 37 in the parentheses where the theta goes. And you should be looking at 60.1025. So we're going to round that to 60.1. And that is the side that is adjacent to the 37 degree. All right, there is your answer for number 8. All right, you guys, try out the rest of the ones on the front. I'm going to head over to the one on the back because there is one that throws people off. So everybody look at number either, 12 or 13, but I'm going to look at number 12. All right, it says to find DC, which is this length, this side of the triangle on the right. Now remember, there are 3 triangles in this problem. You got triangle ABD, you've got triangle BDC, and you have triangle ABC. Well, they just want the length from D to C. Okay. Well, if I start off by using trigonometry and I circle 28 degrees, I don't have any of the sides of this triangle BDC. No sides at all. So I can't really start with a 28 degree. What I have to start with is triangle ABD that's on the left side. So I'm going to use the 54 degree angle, and I'm going to use the hypotenuse of this triangle ABD to find the opposite of the 54 degree, and that's BD. That will allow me to switch from the triangle on the left to the triangle on the right, because BD is a shared side between these 2 triangles. Let me say that one more time. BD is the side of the triangle on the left, and BD is also the side of the triangle on the right. So I'm going to use it to shift from the triangle on the left to the triangle on the right. Okay, so this BD is my opposite to the 54. Okay, so I'm going to use that to find BD. So opposite and 20 is my hypotenuse. Now, the only formula that I can use to find BD, which is the opposite of the 54 degree angle, and the hypotenuse, is a sine. So I'm going to do the formula sine theta, which is 54 degrees, equals, sine is opposite, which is my BD, over my hypotenuse, 20. Now, one more time, I'm only using this to switch from the small triangle on the left to the big triangle on the right in order to find DC, which is what the problem originally asked for. So I'm going to get BD in order to do that. Well, the opposite of dividing by 20 is to multiply to the other side by 20. So everybody, grab your calculator. You're going to put in 20 times the sine of 54. and you're going to get 16.1. So it looks like 16.1 is the length of BD. Now remember, this is not what I was originally looking for. I'm just using it to go from one triangle to the other triangle. So this BD side is now 16.1. So I'm going to label it 16.1 so I can use it for this other triangle. Actually, I should have said 16.2, should not, because it's actually 16.18. So my apologies. We'll change this to a 2 super fast, and then I'll go on to the next part. Okay, so here we go. Next is 28 degrees is now my new theta. Well, what was the opposite to the 54 is still my opposite to the 28. I don't need the hypotenuse because that's not what the problem asked me to find, but that is the hypotenuse of this new triangle BDC. What I'm looking for is the adjacent side, the side right next to the 28 degree of the BD. So this is my adjacent side. And I still have my opposite to the 28 degree, which is the 16.2. All right, so you guys, what formula deals with having an angle, using the opposite side to find the adjacent side? So what formula deals with an O and an A? So tangent is the one we're going to use. So it's going to be tangent of theta. And again, I'm going to replace the theta with my new 28 degree angle. And tangent is opposite, which is the 16.2, over the adjacent, which is what I'm trying to find, the original DC. So I'm going to label that DC for everybody. All right, now here's our problem. This is where students get stuck. 16.2 cannot divide by DC. So what you do is the trick. You switch these two places. Now, if you're a brand new teacher looking at this video, be aware that students will try to just move the 28. You've got to make it very clear to them that the tangent and the 28 are actually one thing. You are taking the tangent of the theta of the 28 degree angle. So don't let them just do 28. It is 16.2 divided by the tangent of 28. All right, so everybody, the final answer when you do this on your calculator is going to be 30.46, which is going to be rounded to the 10th because a 6 makes the 4 round to a 5, so it'll be 30.5. There's your final answer, everybody. All right, so try the rest of these. When I get back to school after my dad's surgery, I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. And, yeah, let me know if you have any issues. All right, you guys have a great day. Bye.